ìjáde ògbẹ́gẹ́dẹ́ gbiná lásòrò ọ̀kì lórí pé a fẹ́ ṣe àyájọ́ ọjọ́ pé a pé ọdún kan lọ́fíìsì Bọ́lá Tinubu àti Sẹ̀tìmà ẹ̀gbọ́ ṣòun ló lè fàjà ní àbóhunkọ́ ẹ máa gbọ́ lórí ètò lónìí pẹ̀lú fídíò evidence. Ìjà ti dé, ẹ wo bí ẹ ti mọ̀ lórí ètò yìí pé kò sí mo tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ tá a ní fún yín ní evidence ẹ̀yẹn ní àrídájú pé ìjà tí Aso Rock kì í laná lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí tó ń gbóná rìtìrìtì láàrin Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà àti igbákejì ẹ̀. Ẹ wò ó, àwọn Fúlàní tó wà láàrin wọn wọ́n ti pawọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú Sẹ̀tìmà lórí Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu. Ẹ gbọ́ ẹ̀yin ìyẹn wa ṣé ká máa wá bẹ̀bẹ̀ fún bàbá ni àbí kí ni ká máa ṣe? Torí wípé a ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ kó tó di àkókò yìí, mo sì tún sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé léyìn máa jẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ fún wọn, á jẹ́ kí wọn ó tètè ṣèpinnu lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation wípé àwọn ará bí yìí wọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ téèyàn lè gbẹ́kẹ̀lé. Torí pé bàbá náà àwọn náà ní ẹni tó ń pariwo fún wọn nínú àwọn Fúlàní pé kò sí àrà tí wọn ò dá, kò sí rúùtù tí wọn ò pa. Àwọn ti ní Bọ́lá Ahmed fi pinnu pé a fẹ́ ṣe ayẹyẹ pé a pé ọdún kan lórí àlééfà. Eléyìí wá mú kí inú ó bí àwọn Fúlàní tó ń bẹ lásìkò pẹ̀lú Sẹ̀tìmà wípé bàbá àlàyé wà, kí ló gbèrú ara kí ló yí apárí ẹ tó fi ń mọ òkun lódò, kí l'achievement wa gan, kí ni nǹkan tá a mú wá. Ẹ wo bí o, ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ẹjọ́ ìjẹ́jọ́ ẹni ká má mọ̀ ọ́ dá o, torí tí ẹ bá farabalẹ̀ gbọ́ fídíò tí mò ń gbé bọ̀ wá bá yìí dáadáa ẹ rí wípé nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n sọ kọ̀ọ̀kan ọpọlọ wà ń bẹ̀ o, àmọ́ ọmọ ẹni ò ní ṣèdí bẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ ká filẹ̀ sídi ọmọ ẹlòmíràn, ìyẹn ọ̀wá ní ká má sòdodo ọ̀rọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n àkọọ́lẹ̀ tí àwọn ará bí yìí kọ́ọ́lẹ̀ òun ni pé àwọn náà wá sọ nǹkan tí Yorùbá sọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí pé wọ́n pa wá, wọ́n ń ṣe bá báyìí, wọ́n ń ṣàwó báyìí. Kí ni ohun tó ń wú Bọ́lá Ahmed lórí tó fi lóun ṣayẹyẹ ọdún kan lọ́fíìsì? Wọ́n tún jẹ́ kó yé wa wípé ìgbà tí ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari wà ń bẹ̀ ó dá àdùgbà yìí lọ 100%. Wípé kódà nígbà tí Jonathan wà ń bẹ̀ bíi kéèyàn máa fi kíní kan jẹ̀kọ́ ni, kí ló wá ń wo ara kí ní yá parí tó fi ń mọ òkun lódò. Bí Jonathan Sẹ̀tìmà ṣe gbéná wojú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu rèé, ẹ máa rí wò nínú fídíò tí mò ń gbé bọ̀ wá báyìí. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹ wúwe o, kẹ́ ẹ rí dáadáa. Ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tí Prof Yusuf sọ, tí ṣe ọmọ Fúlàní, agbẹnusọ àwọn Fúlàní láti ìlú Katsina. Ẹ gbọ́, ẹ farabalẹ̀ gbọ́ dáadáa pé kí ló ń pọ́n, kí ni nǹkan tó ń wú wọn lórí. Àbí ṣé àwọn ọmọ wọn tí wọ́n ń wọ aago 400 and something million il achievement, àbí ti ráìsì 80,000 páàdì, àbí ti epo tí ò ṣe é rà lọ́jà, àbí ti aṣọ, àbí tó ohunkóhun tí ò ṣe táwọn èèyàn olówó lé san. Ẹ má jẹ́ dá yín lágara. Fídíò náà rèé, ẹ lọ bá mi gbọ́, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe bá mi gbọ́ ẹ bá mi ṣe àìjọ́wọ̀ gbòòrò ayé lọ. Ìdí tí mo fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni pé mi ò fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nínú fídíò yìí títí tí ó fi délẹ̀. Ọ̀yá ẹ bá mi fohùn sí fáwọn yẹn wa kí wọ́n bá mi gbọ́.
I'm really surprised they are celebrating. What are they going to celebrate? For them to celebrate where they have put Nigerians to in the last 1 year is honestly been insensitive. You are restricting the discussion to security, which is what concerns the North, where I live, and Katsina, where I live. In spite of, contrary to all the propaganda and half-lies you hear, managers of our security peddling around that our national security has improved, particularly in the Northwest and North Central, the story is different on the ground. A large swath of our land, rural areas are controlled by terrorists. Villages are still ransacked and pillaged. Our women have been raped. And our farmers cannot go to the farm because they're chased off the farm. And when they go to farm, they are levied. Our schools, since it's been 10 years since the tragic incidents of Boko Haram abducting 276 girls from Chibok. It's been 10 years. In the 8 months of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we witnessed 8 mass school abductions. From Federal University Gusau, Federal University Dusuma, in Ekiti there was one, and in Gada there was one, and most recently in Kuriga. So fellow Nigerians, in 10 years we are still seeing these mass abductions. This is what has imperiled education in the north. Our highways, I've had the National Security Advisor saying the highways are secure. National Security Advisor, do not insult us that are living here and seeing the nightmare that this insecurity is bringing us. The highways in Nigeria, particularly in the northwest, they are as unsafe as they have ever been. People have been abducted and killed at will by these terrorists. So do not take an early victory lap. Insecurity is imperiling the lives of people in the north. There are 3 main problems we see in the north: pervasive insecurity, excruciating poverty, and hunger in the land. And the failure of the government, the states and the federal government to secure our people, for them to live their livelihoods, for them to go to the farm and farm. They are not asking for much. They are not asking for Lagos Calabar Highway, where you spend 15.6 trillion. 56% of the national budget was spent on that, while our people have been taking hostages every time. So, mass abducting children and you getting them out is no success, it's failure. Look at the school in Kuriga, Kaduna State, where these children were abducted. Looked like an abattoir. Schools are not safe. Well, you brought out the 200 and whatever number of children from Kuriga, send them back home. How have you made that school safe? How have you made our schools safe? That our parents, that we can send our children to school. 400 women were abducted in Borno on the 3rd of March. Nobody is talking about them. Nobody. They are unaccounted for and they are lost. Nobody is talking about them, from the government of Borno to the federal government to this National Security Advisor. Nobody is talking about them. So please do not insult us and tell us security is better. It isn't. It isn't. Because the way we are doing things, we're just doing fire brigade approach. The military is taking hits all over the place, from Delta to Zamfara to Niger to Katsina. Our soldiers have been ambushed and killed every day. In the last 8 months, it's been reported that 500 officers and men have lost their lives in ambush by these terrorists. And any foe that ambushes you has a better intelligence than you. Where are we seeing this? Where are we losing soldiers, officers and men in ambushes to this ragtag terrorists? So please, please and please, security is not better. And we get insulted when we hear those that are supposed to advise the president coming to tell the world, at no less a place in the convocation of Usman Danfodio University, that security is better. No, it isn't. It isn't. And we must do better. And the way it's been done, we are not going to get there. Taking care of the security in the north, that which I know of, you must be able to do it sincerely, in a very strategic way, holistically, and involving everybody. And I've said it time and time again. Banditry is a social problem that has been left to fester, and we are now increasingly militarizing it. It's not a military problem, and it can never be won on the battlefield. A dialogue is a legitimate tool in any warfare, and we must do that. Zamfara state governor is saying, oh, there's no dialogue. See where we are today? He's fighting with the minister of state from Zamfara. And I want all the state governors in the north that have created their armed state militias to tell us, tell Nigerians, is security better today than when they came? All these their state militias, what they have done is they've stirred the hornet's nest and increased the bloodshed. We need elders to come in, calm things down. We need bloodshed to reduce. We need this conflict demilitarized. We need our military back to the barracks and save our young men and women from being killed all over the place. The only way to do it is to negotiate. is to go and do dialogue. It's not the job of the military. The military did not bring this mess. It is politicians that brought this mess. The military is brought in to clean after their mess. And they cannot do that because it is not a military problem. No amount of Tucano jets or whatever jets will solve this problem. We are putting the military in a very difficult situation. Politicians are messing this thing up. And hey, where were the state governors? 10 northern state governors went to America to look for solutions to security problems in their land. I've said it again and again, banditry, all our social security problems are local. Solutions must be found locally, not in Abuja, New York City, London or Washington DC or anywhere else. Go back home and take care of your problems. I see them in the United States telling the Americans, oh, we have issues with no water, we are agrarian, they're the ones to tell you this. For 3 days you sit down there and just vomiting intelligence to them instead of sitting down home here and sort yourselves out. Oh, governors are buying armored personnel carriers, APCs. To do what? Is that your job? Is that your responsibility? You're supposed to build hospitals and schools and provide employment. You're wasting money on this things instead of sitting down and coming, bringing dialogue and bring peace to your people. There's not going to be peace in this country. There's not going to be any development without reconciliation of our communities. This is not the job of the military. All of us must come in, reconcile, fighting communities before any development happens. I say this because recently I heard the federal government gave 50 billion Pulaku initiative to go and build clinics here and there. I laugh. You're just throwing good money after a very bad idea. The first and foremost thing you should do is find ways to reconcile communities. And only elders, only clerics, only traditional rulers, only people in the community, concerned citizens can come in and bring peace to their land. Military will not bring peace to Mangu. Military will not bring peace to Zamfara. Military will not bring peace to Kaduna or Niger. Local people must bring peace to themselves. The military is overstretched. It's all over, deployed all across this country. Recently, the military pulled out of two bandit-infested zones in Maru and in Shiroro. They've taken a lot of hits. They pulled out, unannounced, and left the people that way. It's an indication that should worry us. The military is getting fed up of this. Fed up of this. Our boys are getting battle fatigue. We can solve these problems by everybody getting involved and solving this problem. These are internal conflicts we must solve. You go to Washington, D.C. to tell them about problems in Zamfara, or our problems in the Plateau, or our problems in Benue, when you guys have never sat down. No of these governors have sat down for 3 days, either in Kaduna or NIPS, to discuss our problems. No, they went to Washington, D.C. So the whole thing is messed up. The governors have the levers of the drivers of insecurity, and they know that. Not the military. Not the military. Take care of these problems. These things will be solved cheaply. Not by bombs. You cannot use bomb to look at. You find a place where vigilantes are killing Fulanis. Fulanis are killing vigilantes. All of them are armed. So what happens when the Air Force comes? Who do they bomb? Who do they bomb? And I hear the Air Force saying, yeah, we have decimated 1,000 terrorists. How can you tell that from the sky?
Thank you, Professor.